So you just picked up Transport Fever 2 and you think by yourself, you know what, I'm going to make an awesome transport empire. I'm going to move people from across the world to cities and interconnect them, turning the world into a small village where interconnectivity is amazing. Well, you could do that, or you could not, because moving transport, or at least moving people from town to town, is not really all that efficient in the money-making department, especially when you say, hey, Richmond, this town over here, I want to move people over towards Berwick upon Tweed, because that's the name. So yeah, that's not really an option to make a lot of money in the start of the game. The towns are too small to garner enough attraction of people. All right, cool. Then let's do industry. That's perfect. This starting area is perfect right here. I got a farm, and I got another farm, and there's another farm over here, and there's a food processing plant. This is perfect. This town needs food as well. We're gonna make so much money on this. No, bad. Very, very bad. Don't do that. Why? Because anything involving farms is in fact a massive red herring and a trap. And I'll illustrate to you why. Let's say that you've built yourself a train line that goes from this here farm to this here food processing plant, and then the train goes back empty. This is called deadheading in logistics, which basically means that you're going in one direction loaded up, but in the other you're empty. And whilst your vehicle, in this particular case, gonna be a train, because that's the main moneymaker within the start of the game, it's still gonna cost upkeep on the way back, which is a huge cost item that you completely want to avoid. No, instead what you want to do is you want to go for either the oil or the wood. Why the oil and the wood? Why? Well, it's because they get processed into a sawmill, and then afterwards, that processed wood goes to either a machine factory or a tool factory. Now, that doesn't make a lot of sense, A-Spec. Why would material go back on that train? Well, in this particular case, let's say there's a forest around the machine factory, which there is, and it needs to go to the sawmill. So what happens here is you grab your forest, it will go to the sawmill, from the sawmill to the machine factory, and then from the machine factory back to the sawmill, but it has wood on it from the Doncaster forest. And that's pretty much how that works, and that's how you pretty much overcome anything involving deadheading. Deadheading is really bad, and you should be ashamed of trying it out. Don't use deadheading, kids. Cool kids don't use deadheading. Let's put it that way. So how are we going to get all these resources from this place to that place? Well, first of all, we want to use trucks. Trucks, A-Spec? Yes, trucks. But trucks aren't cool. That may be the case, but trucks are probably the most cost-efficient on short-term runs. So let's actually, quickly set up here this line, because that's not the one that I wanted to do. Let's just quickly delete that one. And let's just quickly set up a little foresty line over here. Yeah, that's good. All right, that's nice. And we'll add a little road depot on top of that. Create a line. There we go. From here to here. Always make sure you name your lines, by the way. Otherwise, it's going to be a huge pain in the ass. So let's say we're going to call this one Forest 1. Forest 1 to the Tools Factory. Now, Factory U. We're going to go into Japanese on this one. So now all the stuff is going to go to the Tools Factory, or in this particular case, the Machine Factory. We'll get that edited later. But this will still not move our stuff from A to B, because there is no line here. Now we have this here sawmill. The sawmill is in a perfect position. Why is it in a perfect position? Well, we can set up a nice little good old cargo station over here within a reasonable range. Now, nobody can get to the cargo station at the moment, but thankfully, due to the magic of building roads, we can easily connect up this here sawmill to said cargo station. If we highlight the cargo station now, you can see it is now connected to the sawmill. Secondly, we're just going to quickly set up ourselves a nice little truck station. As long as it's within range of the cargo yard, we're good. So if you highlight it and it highlights in white, it means that it's within range. That means that any resources dropped off here will either move towards the sawmill or the cargo platform. We do the same thing on the other side with the actual forest. Let's just have a quick look-see here. That's nicely in range. And we're just going to set up a quick line here. Set these two up. So that is forest 2. Yeah, that'll be nice. And it goes to the sawmill. Very nice. So we're going to go and set that one up. And remember, this is the start of the game. So we don't really have all that money available. We only have like 5 million at the start of the game here, but we're going to turn that into big moolah very, very quickly. Now, the only thing that we got to do now at this point is the following. We got to build ourselves some track. Now, there are several ways of doing this, and most of them require quite a lot of cash, so we're just going to do it in segments and avoid having any sort of bridges. It's fine if a piece of track costs like 200,000. We've got enough money in the bank, so that's not an issue. But we just need to make sure that we arrive around this area. Speaking of which, we should probably build a cargo station in this area just to make sure that we've got the resources that we need in order to move stuff back and forth. Actually, I just came to the realization that it needs to be within range of this here setup. So we're just going to build a truck station and make sure that it is within range. But first we need to make sure that everything lines up nicely to the actual train station. So we've connected the train station here using some roads, and now we need to make sure that the truck station lines up, and then of course reset the line here and go to this particular stop. So now the lumber will move from the lumber yard to the actual machine factory. Now, as soon as the trucks arrive at the machine factory, they will already start making money. But A-Spec, they will go back empty. With trucks, deadheading doesn't matter. It's with trains where the big money is. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to continue building our tracks. Nice and cool. That's not even that expensive. 900k or 90k. I can't count for some reason today. And there we go. We've got our initial line set up. So that goes here from our sawmill over to this facility over here. Now we've got all of this stuff set up as well, so we need to build ourselves a new line. We'll go from here to here. So sawmill, yeah, to machine factory. There we go. And all we got to do now is just add some trains to this line. Now initially, trains will not run anything on this line. Why won't trains run anything on this line? Well, it has to do with the fact that no resources are actually on the actual station yet. Wow, that is a wow, okay, that's a bit more expensive than I want it to be, but it's still 3 million in the bank, so it's not really an issue. So what we got to do now is we got to go and set up our initial line here. So we're going to buy some vehicles, cargo, European horse-drawn carriage. I was going to buy 15 of these because we can, and select all of them, and we are going to connect them to the sawmill. So now they will all start up and running to move resources from A to B. We're going to do the same thing with the other side as well. Why are we doing this already? Because we want to make sure that all the vehicles are nicely spread out before we do anything else. So we're going to buy 15. And we're going to put those here on this line. Now what will happen now is that all the carriages will start moving in towards this location over here, and that will go to the pickup here for the forest. Now, as they move into the platform, all the others will wait behind them. That means that they will be nicely spread out over the entire line. There you go. They're waiting for the other one to be out of range so that they can move onwards on the track. And there's number 2, etc., etc. So that's all perfectly nice. We go back onto the other side of the map. As you can see, wood is now being generated here by this here forest, which is great because all of this wood is going into the sawmill where it will be turned into planks. Now, here's the big deal. We're going to buy ourselves a train, a D1/3 or D1/3, whatever you want to call it, because this is where the magic happens. We're going to build a flat car with side stakes. We're going to max that bad boy out completely. It's going to cost us 1.8 million. It's pretty much all we have in the bank. Why only this here flat car with the side stakes? Well, wood, similar to oil, only requires one type of cart on your vehicle. In this particular case, a train, which means that this particular train is useful to pick up the processed wood, but also to pick up the wood that is about to arrive at our truck station. What we're actually going to do here is we're going to make the route they have to go a little bit shorter, just so to reduce their transport time. There you go. See, now they're moving down towards this way. The shorter the line they have to go, the more money they will make in the long run. So right now, this facility over here will start generating wood because there is a pipeline of resources that will move from A to B. Our train will come in right now to pick up the processed wood from this particular location. So there you go. There it is. Very nice. And we'll start moving down the train line here to the other location in order to pick up the resources that are being dropped off here, i.e. the wood. So the wood is being picked up right now. Do we already have wood in these? Yes, we already have 4 wood. It's going to take a little bit of time to get things rolling and to make money, because right now we're running a deficit. And that's going to take about 1 or 2 years. There we go. We got our first money from this location. It's 7,000 bucks, which is nice. It's a nice little addition. And of course, this train over here is trying to move up the hill. Right now, the hills don't really matter because later on we're going to get bigger and better trains. Now, you may ask yourself, so where do you move on from here? Glad you asked. Let's jump into the future and find out on how this all develops. A couple of years have passed. It's now 12 years into the game. We're making a reasonable amount of money per year. Let's take a quick look at our chart. It's about $1 million bucks. It's not too shabby. Could be a lot better though. So what do we do now? Well, we've got ourselves some wood, some stuff coming in from Doncaster, but also from this third forest, which is then dropping off at a different location, a sub-hub, where it just transfers resources from A to B. And we've built this nice little road there just to keep the pacing up in the late game. We've connected a couple more forests over here, but there is a couple more forests on this side as well. Now we could just grab some trucks or even a train to lock this one in and just move them straight towards the sawmill. But we're not going to do that. No, instead I've built an additional train line which goes all the way up here to this here oil refinery. Why this oil refinery, you ask? Well, we've got oil in them hills, and specifically these two over here. Yeah, this one and that one. And that needs to go over here. So what we're going to do is we want to avoid, once again, that our train is deadheading. So what do? Well, it's actually kind of easy. We grab ourselves yet another truck station. We'll plop it right there and make sure that we've got another one right over here, and make sure that the next one connects up with our train station all the way up here. Now, and then we grab ourselves a nice little road depot, grab a new line, move that bad boy over there, give it a good name. So that is what, Forest 5 to oil refinery. There we go. And then we grab yet another one. Oh, then we grab yet another line, grab this one, move it over here, and that is also going to be Forest 6 to oil refinery. Perfect. And yeah, we'll start adding vehicles to this particular line. However, we've got already have this one set up over here, and basically what it's going to do is it's going to start moving oil from this location all the way up here by going through our main terminal down here. Now, again, remember, money gets given upon arrival to a delivery point. So what we can do here is say, hey, the oil from these 2 oil wells, once they arrive here, we'll get money for it. Then it gets loaded onto a train. Then it arrives here, gets money for it. That train in particular then picks up more wood to move over here to drop off, pick up more oil. Again, no deadheading in that particular scenario. And that's exactly what we want. And then the oil goes from here to here with, once again, the log trucks, where it drops off the oil, picks up the wood, moves back. This way the train will make money on both the inbound and the outbound. Now we're going to need to double up our rail over here just to make things a little bit more efficient. So let's go and do that, and then we should be in the money. The big money. 30 years into the game, everything seems to be going swell. We've doubled up our lines everywhere. On top of that, we've got a large amount of vehicles pretty much roaming everywhere. Let's take a quick look here at all of our trains. There they are. They're all moving back and forth, and a combination of oil trucks here with the wood vehicles as well. We've done that by expanding all the way up here and making sure that all the oil from this area actually arrives at the oil refinery, but at the same time also making sure that the oil from these two locations arrives here, then at our central hub here, all the way up to this area. Now, as you can see, the amount of money that we're making in 1881 is a little bit ridiculous. We are making twice as much money as we are in upkeep. Ignore this particular one over here. That's when we did some expenditure on trains. It's not really all that important, but we still have room for improvement. We could, for instance, plug in yet another oil well into the system. And from this moment onward, you've got enough money to do whatever the hell you want. You want to make spaghetti that makes the scenes from the Temple of Doom with the minecart ride look like a merry-go-around? Oh yeah, you can do that. No problem whatsoever at this point. Yeah. What am I trying to say here? What I'm trying to say is, don't deadhead your trains. It is a sin against God himself. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you learned something. Until next time, drive some more trains. Don't deadhead them.